I started school at 4 years old in 1941. I walked from East Buckland, which is near the well-known school of West Buckland, about half a mile away. I used to walk with the rest of the kids to the West Buckland village, carrying our gas masks. Now, I hated the things, but we had to put them on every day for exercise. The teacher we had was an old lady. She must have been in her 80s, because the men were in. Actually, she didn't teach us very much. We were doing a lot of handiworks and things, but she did teach me to read, which I was very pleased about. We lived in a little square at East Buckland with 5 or 6 houses. One day my father and the neighbour were out sawing logs with the old crosscut saw, and there was 2 airplanes in the sky. One was a Spitfire chasing a German plane. Now, we never saw many of those down our way, but all the neighbours were out looking at it. Of course, me being a tiny kid, I knew there was something exciting. But then it flew away and disappeared over the horizon. We didn't see much more of it. Later in the year, we could see searchlights in the sky. We'd hear what they said was guns, but an afterthought, I think it was a bomb dropping on Exeter, because the skies were full of flashes and bright light in the horizon, orange light with fires, which is either Plymouth or Exeter actually. Then later in the year, again, we'd moved to the village of West Buckland then, and we were out in the field playing, me and a few of the other kids, and the sky was absolutely full of aircraft towing gliders. And now I think it was probably D-Day, but I've never been able to find where they came from. But, you know, that sort of happened.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're using the troop drops, didn't they? So they
yes. But the sky was full of them. Just can't think. Nobody seemed to know where they came from. What direction? Being a kid, I didn't know what directions. Because west, north, or east. Really. Only thing I could think, they must have come from Wales. We lived in the tied cottage, the farm cottage. And my father died when I was 3, and they needed the cottage for another workman. And the farmers and his wife were very good to us. They let us live in the part of the farmhouse until we got a house in West Buckland. There I went to the village school, as I said earlier, and the 11 plus, I think the 11 plus must have been the first time they'd done it, because we hadn't a clue what we were doing. They took us to South Morton, never been to South Morton in their life. We had all these questions asked, and it wasn't fair on us kids really, because there's no way we could pass 11 pluses. So then I went on to South Morton School when it was first opened. Actually, they were still working on the fields, on the playing fields, when we as kids went there. And I'd done quite well there actually. I was a prefect, and I used to take part in school plays and that sort of thing, and I used to thoroughly enjoy it. And when I left school, it was nearly everybody worked on a farm. So I worked on a farm for 17 years. The farmer retired, and I was made redundant. And I thought, I wasn't married, of course, in those days. I thought, oh, well, I'll take a couple of weeks on the dole. Now I'd work all, so it didn't happen because the meat company in Barnstable wanted me to. It was an abattoir, actually, and I used to deal with the intake of the livestock and book it all in and that sort of thing. Now, that was a well-paid job. I was there for about 9 years, and one day the big boss came down in his Rolls Royce, came out and spoke to me, and he said, this place has got great potential. I thought, that's a good job for life. A fortnight later, we were all made redundant. So then I went to North Devon College, where I was a caretaker for 23 years. And I retired in 2001.
Just thinking back to the work that you were doing on the farm, that was 17 years, I think you said,
Yeah.
so quite a long period. What sort of work were you doing? Can you give us a bit of a picture of the farm? We were talking about horses
Well,
being used quite a lot, or?
It was before a lot of the modern machinery came in. We did have a tractor, but we still done a lot of work with a horse. And I used to harness the horse up. The first week I was there, he thought I was well enough with the horse to take the milk on the milk terms out to the milk stand and take it out for him to collect. And it was a steep hill going up. And we went up there, and the boss had started the engine in where one of the engine to do some grinding corn or something, and it backfired and fell on the horse. He went up through, milk went out the back. I thought, that's my starting one, they won't want me anymore. But I stayed there actually, and yes, we used to do things that you don't hear of nowadays. We used to go, well, I suppose they call it mangle wurzers. And we used to have to thin, the long drills, and we used to have to thin them out, and they grow big, and then we put them in what they call a cave, and cover them up so the frost didn't get on. And then in the winter we'd feed them to the sheep, and they loved it. Yeah. And another thing we grew was a thing called flat poles, which is like a big cabbage. And they were hard work, because you had to put them in. It was all back-looking jobs, all of them really. And cattle used to love those.
Were there lots of people working on the farm?
Only me.
Only you?
Yeah. I was there for 17 years. We used to milk, when I went there first, we milked the cows by hand. And then the milking machine came in, and that was great.
So when you were doing the milking by hand, how many cows were we talking about?
I think you probably had about 14 or 15. The two of us were milking by hand. Yeah. Very often get kicked. Yeah, that was farm work, and it was really hard work. Shear and shoot, all that sort of thing. Yeah, I've done a lot. But I didn't want to go back on the farm again when I left. I wanted to do something different. And this job came up with the meat company at Boynton, and they wanted to stop them, to take stock in, and put tags in their ears and say, these tanks belong to Mr. So-and-so in stress, and count them in and make sure they're all fit to be good for them. And that's a bit good for that, drugs and stuff, wasn't it? And I used to do that. And I was working all hours of the day and night. We used to have sheep come from Wales, cattle from Wales. I lived inside London, and the lorry would drive over the purple side and take me down and unload and bring me back. And all that time I was getting paid.
That's all right.
Yeah. It was a good job. I thoroughly enjoyed that. Yeah, all the time I was there.
What about, it's a long time working for the college as well. Can you tell me a bit about that one? Or how was
well, what we used to do, there's just the two of us caretakers then, and it was council run, of course. We had to do a shift pattern, either 6 o'clock in the morning till 2 or 2 o'clock till 10. And of course health and safety didn't come in then, and we'd be there unlocking in the morning, in the dark, we'd lock them up at night in the dark, when it was their shift. Other things we used to do was just walk around and make sure kids were behaving themselves, sort of thing. Yes. And that was a good job, really.
You must have seen quite a few changes there as well.
A lot of changes. When I went there in 1978, they got huts that they used to teach in, and they said they're due to be demolished at any time. And they demolished them about 10 years ago, I suppose. And they've done a lot of building since I left. Yeah, and there's building we've done now.
And I guess, differences in the equipment and the courses that are being offered.
Oh yes, there wasn't computers much in those days. we had loads of reel-to-reel tape recorders, and we took them up and dumped them in the field and burnt them.
Oh no! It'd be worth money, though.
They would, though. then the computers came in, and as you know, after a couple of years they got obsolete. Then we sent them to Romania or something like that, I think. Yeah. But from the early days to when the computers came in, it was a lot different.
So you've seen changes really from being working on the farm, working with the horses and doing all that sort of
on
work,
my own,
right the way through to kids at the college using computers as they started kind of coming in. So huge changes really.
There was huge changes. The computers especially, it's full of computers out there now. I haven't done a course there in keeping glass.
I remember just thinking back to sort of early memories. I remember you telling me about the memory of catching lizards.
That was at West Scotland.
Okay.
Yes, that's a little bit that I did forget.
Okay.
Yes, where that is where what we call the playing field, where I saw those gliders going over. There was a hedge shot through the road, and there was lizards you used to catch them. Catch them, of course, their tails would come off, wouldn't they?
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Even slow ones.
Yeah.
Yes. But it's all kinds of lizards now. Yeah. But that's, and I can remember the snow in 1947, and the village was virtually cut off. And the snow seemed to stay for ages, but I know it probably didn't. But to us kids, it was there for years and years. Yeah. Yeah, it was, it was, we survived the war. I mean, I can't never remember going without. I was only one living with my mum, because the others three, my brother and two sisters, were working. My sister's 11 years older than me. She's 89 now. And it's a film. And they were all out working. It was just me left with my mum. And we lived in, like I say, in West Scotland village during the later parts of the war. And we were always getting stuff from farmers, I suppose that's a pity on us, hand-me-down clothes. Because you go to some of the teachers at West Scotland School, mother used to go there and get hand-me-downs from them, Yeah. And another thing that I'm remembering also, I can remember going to a fight at West Scotland School, and they got a bomb there, and you could buy saving stamps and stick on this bomb, and this bomb was going to bomb Hitler. That's all you kids saw, stick the saving stamps on. I can remember it quite clear. Yes. Yes, it was. It was a happy childhood, really. Nothing terrible happened to us. Though the war was on, we didn't realise how serious it was. We used to hear them talking about it, they're nuts and that, but it was quite. Then later years, of course, I can remember the Children Air display, and two aircraft collided. Now, that was in the late 50s, early 60s, the display, and these two aircraft were doing a display, and they were coming towards us. They kicked wings, and the pilots were killed. And that stays in the memory as well. You see, that sort of thing it does. Yeah.
And you've seen, obviously once you come to work in Barnstaple, you've seen Barnstaple itself change quite a lot as well.
Oh yeah, yes, of course. I came in 1960. probably 65, the past we were about class here, and it was different then. Much different. It was one way around the town, through the Strand and up round the Dunbar Street was one way. And you left work where I worked at Potterville, and I used to go into South Mountain every day then. And queued up for ages. If you left work at 5 o'clock where the factories were closing, you queued up for ages going about, and I tried all sorts of different ways. Yeah, that was Barnstaple in those days. I can remember Bromley's, it's along the Strand. Regal Cinemas there, and I think Bromley's Ballroom and Cafe was next. They used to have dances there, and I was in one of the farmers with their dances. And 4 of us lads started playing harmonicas, and we played at different venues around the area. Yeah, we were quite well known then.
Did your band have a name? What were you called?
We were just
4 lads with harmonicas.
4 lads with harmonicas.
Brilliant.
Yeah, we used to take it seriously, you know. We used to do cabarets, go to dances and do a cabaret when the band had a rest, we'd walk down play there, and you know, it was when the old rock and roll came on first.
So was that something you were into?
That's we were into that for quite a while. I mean, it's only me, Mike, going left. This national service group was out. You know, the others, I didn't go because I was working on the farm, and it was near the end. I wouldn't have gone anyway because national service ended the same year as I was supposed to go. But the other lads had gone, so they'd gone, and the band broke up then. My friend Mike told me he went to Africa to work, and we used to correspond. He came back and he ran the pub at West End, and we used to go and see him, me and my wife, and have a drink and have a meal. And he used to talk about Africa and about voodoo and how frightening it was. He said, terrible. Used to scare him to death.
Happy to right back in Barnstable.
Yeah, he came back. Yes, he came back to West End. He's just lost his wife. He came back to West End and ran the pub, and he often thought about when we used to play the Mother as before.